Yeah. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love.
CLOQ, and today it is going to be iCrims as well as Satyr returning to the broadcast. Fortunately, no camera, but we're going to get Happy Bee instead. Welcome, Satyr.
I am a happy bee. What do you mean? I'm always the happy bee. I look the exact same.
Bright, bumbling, happy bee.
Yeah.
Nothing better would describe Satyr than those things, those qualities today. As Satyr, you get to cast a game that is very important because it is Pulsar versus Maelstrom Esports. Both of these teams, this is the last chance for them to continue in this tournament as well as progress into that playoff stage. As you can see here, Pulse did drop their winners series to PNWs. And so now they are in the losers bracket. They are facing elimination as well as Maelstrom Esports in this lower bracket, Satyr.
Yeah, and taking on a team like BlackRock Esports mustn't have been easy for Maelstrom Esports, so Pulse are going to have a difficult one here, but Pulse are an incredible team, and I'm very excited to see what they can pull out this time. But I think there's a lot of conversation about draft styles because some of the picks we've been seeing have been a little bit strange as meta seems to go out the window once we come to Fearless, right?
Yeah, so once all of the prime picks are taken up, usually game one, especially game two, and then we hit the game three, that's when we start seeing more of like the individual player champions come out. Ariandel starts playing the mages, Will and Hoarder start picking more of the more comfort picks. So that does typically happen in Fearless a lot more, especially when we get to potentially a game three.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how many teams have actually adapted to some of the new kind of styles that have been appearing lately. It's been I've seen a lot of Varus mid and junglers with double lockets and all these other things coming in. And I'm wondering if any teams have actually put a little bit of time into this because it seems to be doing really, really well in competitive scenes.
Mhm.
And I'd really like to see some of these teams pick it up. But the Varus mid, I've tried it. And I used to play a lot of Varus ADC. It is so difficult trying to judge that damage early when you're rushing a locket first item. It's so hard to get the lethal, but your survivability, Crims, it is incredible.
Yeah, the Locket's really good. I got flamed for building Locket, Varus top lane, but I mean that's the build, and it makes it so that like Varus is really good at baiting people in with the Locket, and then when you realize you can't kill Varus, just 100 to zeros you on the return when you're trying to get away, and so it's very strong, very powerful as well, and I think it really suits teams that want to peel back and want the to goad the enemy into attacking them. You pop the Locket for your team and yourself, hit the ultimate, they can't get away, and then you hit them with the execute. So I think it's pretty strong. Pulse did play a game against it as well, but it was not the Locket Varus. It was a full damage AP Varus in the mid lane. So it's starting to make its way in different forms. I think part of the strength of Varus is going different builds, Satyr. So if we don't get the Locket version, I think the other versions are still good. It just depends what kind of game you have.
Yeah, it does kind of depend what game you have, and we'll see how. I think game one kind of always sets the tone for these styles of games, and we start to see teams focus on different areas as they go around. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what Pulse are going to do. They are a team that are very, very strong, and I guess the best thing to do is kind of talk about each of these players on Pulse.
Mhm.
And Crims, I want to get your opinions on these because you watch a lot more of this, but Prismal and Will are my two to watch. I'm wondering if you're going down different ones because you spoke about Ari and Dell swapping to those mages already. Is the champion pool deep enough to survive these flawless or these fearless if it goes all the way to game three, or is it more required in a support role to step up as we see Prismal do so often?
I think that the champ pools are going to be fine in these BO3s. Maybe it's not super optimal for either team. It really depends on the drafts that we get at the end, what gets taken. But I think they're both going to be solid. Will Ariandel, as well as Prismal, of course, will be fine. Prismal kind of stepping into the support role now. I think that for their bot lane, they do play a lot of aggressive things. They're definitely not afraid of it. Azog not shying away from picks like the what is man, what's her name with the spears? I'm totally blanking on this champion
Ballista?
right now for some reason. Callista, yeah, Callista, duh. So they're not afraid to play stuff like the Callista right now in the current meta. Not the most popular champion, but I mean, if you are not afraid of being able to dominate that bot side and execute on this champion pick, then it's still worth it. So I think they can dig deep. I mean, if we want to talk about champion pools in history as well as the veterancy, Polestar are ahead by a mile, and it's really Maelstrom who are going to be, facing that uphill battle.
Yeah, I haven't actually got to see a game from Maelstrom, so I don't have a lot of information on them. So it's pure eye tests for me, which I actually do quite enjoy coming into some games, just getting to see how they're playing on the day and getting to judge them off that because these are all exceptional players. I don't expect any of them to be having terrible games, but it's a good chance for me to just break down what I see right in front of me, whether it's going right or wrong for them. And stylistically, if they can beat BlackRock Esports, I have a bit of hope for them because BlackRock were one of the teams I had rated quite highly previously in the first
Yeah.
NACL that I was watching.
So I have a couple of reads that I think are going to happen in this game. I think this is going to be a bot side focused game from Pulse, as well as Maelstrom Esports, because after kind of analyzing their games, first of all, with Azog, Prismal, and Will, they like to play aggressive around the bot side. Now they really have gone for multiple times, diving under the turrets, taking their enemy AD carry out of the game super early, and just having Azog be extremely dominant in these games. And so that is a look that I've liked for Pulse so far, and I think it's going to continue to happen. And bringing that into what happened with Maelstrom last series for them, Paragon fell quite far behind versus BlackRock Esports. And of course, we know with the B and Anori B, that is, it's a very strong lane in its own right from BRE. So Paragon did fall below. The Ziggs game was a lot better. Ziggs is a better neutralizer. So I think either Maelstrom try to neutralize on the bot side, try to not get dove or taken out of the game early, but they were able to stack dragons in their game versus BRE Seder. They in fact got 8 dragons in a row, despite the fact that they were not winning bot lane. So if Maelstrom somehow are able to do that against Pulse, I think that's going to be an amazing look for them. I think that's going to be something that every other team has to look out for stylistically. I don't think it's as likely versus Pulse as it is versus BRE. So that's why I'm saying Pulse are going to be taking this. I'm thinking 2-0, and I think it's going to be through bot side dominance.
Bot side dominance. It's an interesting one for sure, as so many ADCs are now in the mid lane. So is it really bot side or is it really mid? But regardless of that, we're going to get into this first phase here, as we do have some Kindred bans. I do like seeing Kindred played. I also like seeing the respect put on a champion that can change and a team fight so quickly. That ult is so powerful. But Maokai, we should see Sejuani come through more than likely. They're both kind of the top tier junglers for that Locket style. Udyrs as well. But it's actually going to be Aurelion taken away from Ariandel, which is an interesting one.
Yeah, Aurelion Sol as Kindred. These are comfort picks for Ariandel and Will. These are champions they've played many times and they've won. I mean, I'm sure they have a crazy win rate on these champions. So taking their comfort out already at the start is a good idea, as well as the Ashe coming out because of that bot side dominance I was talking about. But putting some respect on the classic picks from Pulse here. Opening with an Ezreal I think is really good, but there's a lot of options here for B1.
Yeah, I was going to say, just like take the Leona. Like, Leona is the strongest support right now, at least in my mind. I know a lot of other people's minds have also been swayed onto the power of the sun. Solar powered teams just seem to work that little bit better right now. But sometimes, Galio, that's a pick and a half.
That's a takeaway. That is a takeaway from Ariandel. Galio already. So, I mean, are they going to flex a bot lane as well as taking the Aurora? So I think Aurora is better in the top lane for sure. I think she has a lot better matchups and is harder to kill. And there's not that many counters outside of a few. A lot of the counters involve something like that can get up in Aurora's face, take her out early, like Irelia, even something like a LeBlanc or a Yone.
Or a Yone, yeah. Syndra, I'm really liking the Syndra pick coming through now with the Xin Zhao as well. So they have some good team fight, good displacement, and good lockdown. They are maybe lacking a little bit in the DPS. So Syndra is kind of a burst champion. They're just looking to absolutely annihilate a single target, while here comes a bit of DPS on the other side with the Corki. Are we going to see that Aurora go into the top side, Corki go into that mid, and then Galio go down?
Go into the support role. So they're picking... The Galio looks like it's going to be the Leona counter. I'm not sure if this is going to work out because Galio famously not that great into AD matchup. So we'll see what the plan is. This is 14.16. Is Galio Senna a thing?
As someone that does play quite a bit of Galio, as I am currently training for the mid lane for a tournament, it's... If we were to flex it down toward the bot side, we need kind of Kai'Sa more than anything else to be something that we'd be going for. Just that extra kind of stacking up of the passive for Kai'Sa is more important, as Senna is kind of moved onto that enchanter pool, even though it has changed drastically in the latest patch. But Wukong is definitely going to be a solid pickup here. I'm thinking that ADC role, it should be the Kai'Sa coming through for that one, I think, unless they want to go down the Zeri route and add extra protection. But with the Ezreal coming through, Zeri might have a little bit of a harder time into that poke. And yeah, do you know what, this bot lane, it could be anything at this stage. Kalista could even be a big pickup here for the ult in from Galio, following the Wukong pull back out and send out again. Once you have Vladimir,
I think this is going top side into the Aurora, the Vlad. I don't know what the build is going to be because I haven't seen this matchup. You are correct. It is the Kai'Sa Galio. So that's going to offer tons of CC for those procs on the passive. But the Vlad versus Aurora top side, Vlad is short range, but might be able to go toe-to-toe with Aurora. Of course, does need time to scale. So I'm imagining Aurora is going to win early. and Hoarder is just going to take the scaling side of this matchup here. But look at these comps as we see them displayed for us here. Wukong, Corki, as well as the Aurora on the top side versus Vlad, Zin, Syndra. This is quite an interesting matchup, and already in game one, this is not the standard League of Legends. This is new technology coming out right away.
Yeah, and hopefully we can rebuild it and see this go through game 2 and game 3. And that was a terrible Terminator joke, and I apologize to everyone out there. But I'm looking at this and going, I said this to you in the start that like Fearless brings out the worst in drafts, and it completely changes the face of what you want to do. And as much meta as we're seeing with the Ezreal, the Kai'Sa, the Leona, Corki, all those are decent meta picks alongside Aurora. But then the rest of it is just like comfort nearly. And that's what I like about Fearless. Is like you just play what you want to play, and eventually will fall. Some meta, some won't, but it just makes everything seem so much more fun as a viewer. And for the players, especially when you go in knowing you're on a comfort champion, the morale you get in game one, it's just great because you're feeling good. I think that's more important than anything. But one outlier for me is the Galio support. I am not terribly invested in it. I don't think it's the greatest pick. But what I do like about it is with the Wukong, you just have backline access immediately, and I love that.
Yeah, I think they're just going to send the Wukong in, activate the knockup, Galley comes on top, and either you peel out or you're going to face a ton of CC, and that's when Kai'Sa can pounce on you. So I think they're going for a really high, high dive comp here as well. Aurora is also able to dive. Like, imagine everyone tries to escape, and then she just locks everyone in with the ultimate. So you either have to flash out or die. I think Ariandel, this game's cut out for Ariandel because this one's going to be tough. If you don't have Flash, I think you're probably going to be dead in almost every team fight. Azog looking like the key carry to me on the side of Pulse because they are the only one with enough mobility to dodge all of these dive champions here. And even then, Kai'Sa can still, if you get the passive on you, can just ult in right after and get the kill on you anyway. So I think this one might be a bit tough for Pulse. Hoarder, once scaled up, will be a menace in this game, but I think Pulse, this draft kind of looks difficult on my side.
Yeah, it is a very, very difficult draft, but we can talk about drafts forever, Crims. I want to hear your prediction. I don't care about what, like, we can talk about this, we can break down every little thing, and nothing will matter if one person gets an early kill or we see a first blood. What do you expect to see if it all goes even and we get to one big team fight over a Baron or a Drake, regardless of what they've picked up over the game? Which team is better? Because I'm slightly going towards Pulse just because of that Syndra. That Syndra is terrifying to me.
I mean, the Syndra into the Wukong as well. Not a fan of magic damage can get very much bursted out despite being a bruiser. So if they play into Ariandel Syndra like that, definitely can win. I think Pulse are a little bit better right now in the mid-game scenario. Versus PNWs, they did falter. They were up in most of those games, and they were turned around. It wasn't the most biggest lead I've ever seen from Pulse, like only about 2-3K, sometimes 5. And they did lose those 2 games. So it does seem like right now Pulse in the mid-game can get turned on, and they actually will not be able to carry on through. The question for me is, like, can Maelstrom actually match that level and take them out? And even considering this draft, and right now, I'm not going to believe it till I see it, Sander. So I think I'm still going to go Pulse, but if Maelstrom want to set me wrong, this would be the game to do it.
Yeah, so there is always the back of your head Kai'Sa effect, there's always something that Kai'Sa can do. But yeah, I'm very interested to see how they're going to break this one down in terms of where their focus is going to be. Go very, very quickly in either direction. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be a fun one.
Yeah, I think this is a crazy game. I love seeing new picks on the rise here. And we'll see if Vlad is going to be a good answer into this Aurora as well. Hoarder Vlad should be a doozy. Game 1 starting off here. And so, for this jungle matchup, I think I would prefer to be Wukong in this situation. But that doesn't mean Will is out of the game. Can definitely find some early angles, some early skirmishing. And potentially, right, we have a classic 2v2 mid combo here. It is a Xin Syndra, one of those stronger mid 2v2s. So I think they could definitely make something happen.
Yeah, they could. They definitely could, as we do see the pro camps come up, and it is Pulse in the lead with that one. But I have a heavy
Ooh,
feeling that is the Galio difference coming into this one.
yeah,
Galio
I do think so.
realistically isn't the greatest of supports for the moment anyway, as
Oh,
Raz is dropping
Raz.
in the Let's Go Pulse.
Raz in the
But
chat.
yeah,
Thank you, Raz.
so we definitely have one person rooting for Pulse here. And Duck and GHG, my two favorite teams in this entire thing, are facing off at
That's
the moment.
true. You must be sad that one of them, they're in a duel to the death here, and it does look like Ariandel taking up some damage from Zephyr in that mid lane and already getting chunked. I mean, Corky does want to play this aggressively early into the mages, and so that's already a good start.
That is absolutely disastrous for Ari and Dell to start off that way. They should be looking to burn through that pot and stay healthy, as we could very quickly see Wukong fly into that mid lane and get that flash. Once that flash is down, Corky has to run that lane. But we are going to get to see a matchup I have never seen before in that top side with the Aurora versus the Vladimir. I'm really looking forward to seeing how these kind of face off against each other, because Vlad notorious for healing back up, Aurora notorious for poking you down. Who's going to get the better in that matchup is actually a coin flip in my head.
Yeah, I think so. And the sustained damage. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is a little cheeky here. Verdict just going to wait for the perfect time. Also, bot lane is exchanging blows. Paragon does drop, and as I was talking about, that was something I was worried about. Now, will super low HP into Verdict? I don't know if that was worth it.
Yeah, that is a very, very messy start to the game, as we have to break that one down really quickly. So we do have Brismal taking a kill on the bot side and taking out Paragon, which is a massive shift for bot lane dominance, which you spoke about. You expected Pulse to win that bot lane hard, and that's what they're doing. But on the other side, Verdict sneaking in and taking out Jin's out on first clear, so only one camp completed. I think he might have actually got the second as well, but that is absolutely disastrous right now, and that's going to maybe shake up the bot, because Verdict will be moving towards that side. So we could see maybe reverse pressure now. And maybe they could maybe dig out that Kai'Sa with a good Wukong game.
Ooh, look at the damage coming out from Hoarder. But wait a minute. Sappy is low on mana here. So I think Hoarder is good to sustain this one out. So we'll just see how this top lane continues to develop. But the bot side, Paragon doesn't have cleanse. So that is going to be an issue into Prismal on the Leona here. Going to go for an engage in the mid lane, trying to find something onto Zephyr, but is just holding strong. Steadfast wasn't scared for a second there, Satyr. And the mid laner from Maelstrom is going to keep the mental.
For now, Corky going to be feeling the sting of that one as the game goes on, as we finally see Paragon returning down towards the bot side, where Azog has held that wave to perfection. So it's going to be a massive
Frizzle coming
there.
back. Frizzle wants more.
Yeah, they're having a good time here so far, Pulse. They're having a good time. They're getting to move around the map, and Ezreal is trying to hold on to that wave. He's actually finally pushing back, but yeah, it's looking good for Pulse so far. I'm wondering whether we're going to see any prio from Pulse maybe onto this Drake, but no, there's going to be revenge coming through for Will, as that blue buff has been returned.
Yeah, so that is a tempo loss from Verdict, because we walked all the way over to blue buff and then waited in that bush. So does take away a bit on the tempo here. Hoarder still surviving, as it looks like Sappy did use teleport. So this is a TP advantage. I think Hoarder's going to be fine, Satyr. I think should be able to weather the storm. Should be able to scale up here. And Prismal again in the mid lane. Finally, this time they get this flash. They're trying to get the damage down. The proc from the Aftershock. Prismal's under turret. And they get the kill. Well, try again. Third time's a charm. How many other ways to say it? They get the kill onto Zephyr. And that is beautifully done.
Beautifully done, setting up your Syndra for success very, very early there. And Corky is going to be feeling the sting of that one for a little while, as we do see the Galio go into the mid lane, trying to hold that wave, but will end up just taking those minions, as it will be forced in by Ariandel. And I've got to ask you here, does Syndra just take over from this point, or am I imagining things?
I don't think it's just there yet. Maybe one more kill onto Sir Zephyr. I think they should be able to do it, by the way. So I'm thinking they are on track, Satyr. The path is available. It's open to them. Because of that bot lane play, like Azog's just free farming here on the bot side, able to push up as well. And they can just get Prismal Roman. Hold up, Satyr.
And reminder, actually going to go for this fight here as Prismo might be in a little bit of trouble. Here comes the taunt. They will get the double taunt off on this one. Paragon in great positioning here for this fight as a Zog. Will be stepping forward aggressively here, wanting to take this fight. Galio, you are built for MR, not AD, and he is low.
Okay, that is a close one. And yeah, it looks like they're not able to skirmish against Azog on this Ezreal here. And remember, this champion is pretty good. Oh, more.
Prismo might be the sacrificial lamb here to keep Azog alive as the stun comes through. Azog trying to pump out as much damage as it can, but Prismo in a lot of trouble here. But no, they're not going to finish that one off. It will go over to Gabex on that Galio.
Wait, Will's on the flank.
We do see Will. He's coming around. He's fine.
Oh, their health's so low.
They might be able to turn off onto this Ezreal, though. No, he won't step away, and it's all too easy for Jin Zhao to pick these ones up. One of them does go over to the Ezreal, and Zog will actually get both of them. That is absolutely disastrous, and Pulse come out on top.
For Maelstrom, this is nightmare. That is an absolute nightmare. And this is something that I highlighted before the draft. And that is going to be the bot side play from Pulse. I thought is going to be much better versus VRE. And they are feeling it right now. Azog, 2 kills up. Not to mention Will is able to come down there, secure a kill as well. Oh, in the mid lane, Sir Zephyr getting ganked again. I feel like I am Nostradamus because I'm predicting everything right now, Satyr.
Yeah, you are absolutely on fire for this one. And what happened to NACL 1? You got everything wrong in that one, and now suddenly you're turned on. You've watched enough League to finally realize that eye tests matter, right?
Oh boy. Okay, you know what? I noticed what you're doing. I was on a high note, and you wanted to bring me down. And
yeah, it's only we got to keep it nice and calm, and then we can start to get a little bit hype later on. But remember, Ducky's on top.
There you go. Well, we were wrong about some things, and we were right about other things. As we're going to be able to see this play here, the wave is stacking. They're just going super deep onto Azog, and the key thing is they don't get onto Azog here. And while Prismal is tanking this, look at the damage that is being dealt. And they eventually overextend for the kill, but the health bars are just too low, despite the fact that it is a 3v1 and a 3v2. And Will is able to clean Paragon up on the bot side. And, I mean, Azog here, I think most AD carries, you kind of just step away. But not Azog, he's going for the kill.
Ice in the veins. That's all it is. Ice in the veins, as we do see Pulse now. Beginning up onto those grubs, and a split pushing Vladimir is a very scary Vladimir. It's very hard to remove the blood from the side lane as it will just stay. Oh, no, they have not. But right now, Prismal is actually going to get taunted up. But yeah, Paragon is in a load of trouble right now.
Yeah, Paragon does have full sums, so I don't think there's going to be any deaths that are imminent. But I think something that I like that Pulse is doing right now is they're taking their bot side dominance and they're shifting it mid for the Syndra. And it's such an easy setup right now to kill Sir Zephyr with Syndra plus the Leona. Looks like Hoarder just doing that for HP. And has yet to... I mean, at some point, TPing back to lane with full items is going to be worth it, right? See, at some point.
Yeah, eventually, but not right now. We still have plenty of time to play with this. Plenty of time.
Sappy doesn't look like they're in kill threat at all in this matchup. So I don't know if this is how it's supposed to go, but Hoarder's doing a beautiful job up at top side.
Look, maybe Hoarder just understands the matchup better, has played it solo queue, maybe has played up against this matchup a few times, but right now it doesn't really matter, as we're going to see the Galio get eviscerated off the map as the rest of the team is starting to come down. Will actually choosing to step away, not wanting to join the fight this time around. And look, it's bot lane dominance falling apart. Will staying, but Paragon and Verdict read it correctly and leave. So they are going to be safe for this one. And a little bit of a slowdown from the pressure there from Pulse.
Yeah, they are going to get stopped a little bit, but it's just a pit stop on this bot side right now. They did get full sums of Azog, but this isn't Ezreal. Still has the Arcane Shift. They're still super strong. I mean, look at the item difference as well. And Ariandel just taking a chunk out of Sir Zephyr in the mid lane. Quarter still sustaining, still hasn't I mean, is it going to be the price to pay now? Going to go ahead and use the blood as well. Has a full charge up heal, 125 HP. Sappy is low on mana. Is there enough? The autos might be enough. The flashes gets the kill. Hoarder, you could just use your TP. I mean, what else is there to say?
Yeah,
he's hoarding the TP. Hoarding the TP.
Hoarding the TP, yeah. No, very, very greedy plays there and just not requiring to stay for that long. Absolutely crazy work coming through there. But yeah, I do have to say that's kind of how I see most lads in solo queue. They kind of die once or twice, but then when they come back and they have the like 2 items that Vladimir needs, the game just kind of ends all of a sudden because it just becomes unkillable, and that's a big worry that there hasn't been enough pressure in that top side. And Verdict should be up there a little bit more, but right now we're starting to see Hoarder still get pushed off a little bit. I have to say, I'm kind of glad that there has been a bug found with Aurora to not see it in LEC as much, but I want to see these double flashes. That's what I really want to see right now.
Yeah, we're going to get a replay here. Hoarder thinks that there's enough HP, can bait out some abilities. Does get hit right here, and that's probably the key factor. Hoarder could back off this whole time, as we see on the picture-in-picture. Sir Zipper is getting some more pressure as well. Hoarder, they might be setting up for the dive. Here it is at the end of this fight on the top side here. And this is where we get the 2 flashes. The wave goes in, though. So not the worst thing for Hoarder.
No, not the worst thing, as we do have a bit of a lull in the game right now, and I feel like it's about time we have a few more kills. So who wants to be the one to step up and do it?
Yeah. CS is even despite getting zoned off, but the plates do go down. So I think Sappy should be up an okay amount. We'll see what they can do with that, as it looks like the second set of grubs are on the schedule for Pulse here. They're not going to go for that Dragon Stack.
No, they're not going to go for that Dragon Stack, and it will be traded off, I believe. But Grub's still a decent takeaway from that one if they can walk into it. The question is if they actually want to walk over towards it, but Prismal wants to get aggressive, and the rest of Pulse, they're going to go for this one. Let's see them line up for this Drake, as we see a little bit of poke, but the Drake will be taken. Are they just going to go for this fight? What can you take off this? Paragon has been nearly eliminated immediately, and Prismal, perfect setup. Galio will send them back, though, and it looks like nothing will break from this, but Will wants to keep going forward. Will take out the Galio. Sacrificial Lamb again here for the Galio, and was that enough? Could it not have just went Grubs?
Oh, here we go. We have the Engage trying to get out of here. Verdict trying to trade back, but the CC is not going to allow it. The deal's getting a bit sweeter here now, Satyr, as they're getting plates. Again, they're making sure Azog is strong. I think the argument is they could get Grubs later, but we're about a minute away from the Grubs despawning, and as well as they're losing plates and minions in this mid lane here. So I'm not sure if it is worth it. I think they might have overextended on the play.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe so. I feel like that was a little bit much. I would have really rather see 6 of the Grubs go over to the side of Pulse when you have a Vladimir and an Ezreal and 2 champions that are exceptionally good at taking down towers with added effects. And then not even talking about the Jin Zhao on the other side of it. They also have some great abilities to get through that. So nice flash, steps away. Here comes the Aurora. They're going to bounce around as we see so often. But can they escape from Prismal? Prismal has been crazy with these. Let's see what they can do. There it is. There's the drop. There it goes. Here comes Hoarder, and he has that empowered ability as well, and it just makes it that much easier.
Yeah, I didn't see... Hoarder didn't have the ultimate there, as that's a flash from Ariandel. Does get tagged at the end, but just not any follow-up from the Corki there. Will is here to make them pay for this, though. The attempt at Ariandel comes at a cost, and that's another kill going over to this Syndra. 4-0-1. Ariandel, I mean, we're about 1 item away from Syndra 100 to 0ing a lot of the squishy members on the side of Maelstrom.
Yeah, 11-4 already, and Pulse are starting to run away with it in terms of that KD. They still need to get through this Rift Herald, though, but the Grub miss is a big miss for me. That's going to stick in my brain for everything they've done. They got the Galio, and then they got Verdict off the back of it, which is great, but... I just feel like Grubs are so important these days, Crims. Just getting that extra bit of macro power onto some of these champions, I just think it's just that much better. But regardless, they got some kills.
I think if they actually got the dragon, if they denied the dragon, got themselves a second dragon, that bot side play becomes a lot more worth it here. As it looks like they're not even going to get the Rift Herald tempo, not in their favor. Azog on the bot side didn't want to make the roam over, so they thought they could sneak that one away. In the end, they have to give it. But, I mean, they already have a huge gold lead as Hoarder's trying to get away from a gank.
Trying to get away from again because we do see multiple ults being dropped in the attempt to take down this
Oh,
Vladimir. But the
500
healing is
HP.
there. Ariandel, he's going to get back in. Here comes Will off to the side. They already have taken out Sappy on that Aurora, but Verdict wants to try to get something. We do see Archangel's proc. Shielding is there. They are safe. Here comes Prismal. Here comes Paragon. Here comes the rest. Double kill now for that Vladimir, as it will be a slow and painful death here, and a triple onto that Galio and Pulse. They know what they're doing in this draft.
And it was a 4v5. I mean, you could call it 4v4 because Paragon wasn't exactly there. But Azog free pushing in these tier 2 bot side. Basically, they didn't even lose anyone in that fight on the top side. Everyone stayed alive. They got kills. This is a huge injection of gold. They're going to get the TP from Sappy as well. Look, a lot of the games last week, they lost to PMW. They weren't able to cleanly get these wins. But it's looking like in this one, this is too big of a hill to climb for Maelstrom. Sater, go ahead and break this one down for us.
Yeah, as we're looking here, Hoarder, just, I guess, a massive 590 heal from that ult. But as we're seeing here, Ariandel gets a pick onto a key target. Will, now on the side, they can go one by one here as the rest of them aren't close enough. Verdict makes a decision to go forward in the attempt for a kill. Archangel saves. Prismal gets once again onto the next primary target, and it's just easy pickings from there. The communication to be able to pull off something like that has to be perfect. They're picking off targets, saying, can we take this? Yes. Can we take this? Yes. And it never stops. It is nearly immaculate work from them.
And Hoarder baiting it all right there. Looks like they're making an attempt on Azog. Super low HP. Does get the shutdown now. Ariandel's in trouble as well. They're pouring in, trying to get this Syndra. A lot of skill shots are missing here, but it looks like the speed up plus the autos will take down Ariandel. The Rift Herald crashing into the mid lane. Pulse can't fight with 2 carries down, and this might be perfect timing for Maelstrom because Dragon is up, and there was no way they were supposed to get this.
No, there was no way they're meant to be able to get this, but they are in a prime position right here, as it will be the Galio once again setting himself up to try and get this double taunt. He does land it. Here comes the damage, but is it enough? Will is low. They will take out the Jin Zhao. Drake will be secured if they can just stay there, but they can't because here comes Hoarder. The rest of the team is slowly getting onto the flank here, though. People being picked off left and right. Azog will never be there, and Hoarder, what can you do in a 1 versus 5 situation? And the answer is, you can get a kill.
All right, Pulse, I mean, I don't think they should be walking up there, but this actually might have been the play if they really wanted the Dragon. Azog sniping Sappy at the end there, and Verdict's going to pull off. I think that's going to seal the deal because they just have to wait for Will to respawn. Verdict's way too low. Well, Sater, they paid for it, but I think they're going to get the Dragon, and I think that's exactly what Pulse was going for.
Yeah, buying themselves a lot of time to get down there and using a lot on the other side of it. It just seems like the game is kind of going into kind of high tempo, a lot of plays being made that maybe they shouldn't be. And yeah, it's starting to get very, very scary for both sides here. Let's see what they can do with this now, though, as it is going to kind of lull for a second. Drake slowly being taken. And they're setting up for the Drake. They should just be starting it, no? Just go. It just seems like it's a lot of hesitation from both sides.
I think they're just crossing their T's and dotting their I's there, making sure they have full vision set up. They have time, actually, Sater. I mean, Sappy went to go catch top wave. I know they didn't know that, but TP advantage from Hoarder could give them some justification for playing that a little slow. And, I mean, it didn't cost them anything, and they could potentially be catching up on the top side.
Potentially.
Oh, they're going to pile down mid instead. They're going to trade.
Yeah, they're going to try out this one. The Galio coming in to try and get that burst off, to try and get some knockouts, but it won't
Paragon!
Here. Hoarder deletes Paragon from the map, as we will see the Galio fall as well. And they're continuing this chase. Prismal, no fear in the world, but the tower will finish you. But Ariandel is there to clean it up for you. Verdict, what is your decision here? And it looks like not a lot, because they have to step away.
Okay, so they get 2 turrets plus kills. Pulse are super good right now in making these up-tempo trades. They think it's going to be an even turret trade with the topside turret. Maelstrom are just chilled, relaxed. But all of a sudden, Prismal's mid lane. Ariandel starts walking over from bot side. They're hitting some flanks, getting kills, and they're getting turrets. And they're just trading up on every scenario right now. And I like this play. It's so proactive, Pulse. are a completely new team. And they just got tired of being called the LCK of the NACL.
You said that.
Me and others, but I was
Not you.
I might have been the loudest one.
Yeah, you were the loudest one. No, like I think what it is they're playing with a lot of confidence. They're very, very comfortable on their champions. They know that they are in the lead. They know that they've hit spikes. They are very, very comfortable in this situation, and that is exactly what we wanted to see from these. As right now they're setting up, they're playing some cheesy old style Fnatic right here as they're looking for those bush camps, but no one is going to take the bait right now. They're going to send that TP to the top side as Galio's going to try to get something onto the backside. We do see Leona immediately set it up. Corki is ignited and ticking down, will eventually fall. Fleet footwork will keep them up, but Azog says no and will just arcane shift, flash, jump forward, Q, and it sounds simple, but the confidence to do that is insane.
Yeah, it's the ability to know when you can do that without getting killed as an Ezreal that is very important here. They're gonna send Prismal to catch bot wave. Probably not the most ideal person. Hold up, it looks like Pulse might be staying a bit too long. Paragon though, looks like with Verdict they're not feeling too confident in going for this one. There they go. GameX trying to get the engage. The taunt landing on Will. Doesn't have the ultimate. I think this is gonna be a kill onto that jungler here. Have Pulse taken a step too far? Have they overextended on this play because they are giving up a Baron to Maelstrom, who are in desperate need of gold right now?
Yeah, they're giving up a Baron, and this could be disastrous here. Horde are doing their best.
Oh, the chunk from Azog.
Yes, they will. Will it be stolen? It will be stolen by the Ezreal here, as the Ezreal will slowly take away that Baron, and that is just going to be game. That is a game-winning steal.
Oh, TPs.
Oh, more TPs coming through. Hoarder is straight into the back. Sappy, what can you do to help survive this when you jump into the Aurora field with absolutely no fear as he goes to pick up the rest? There goes Zappy, picked up by Prismal. There goes another as Ariandel will take out Paragon, and game-winning, game over.
Oh, this is a scrappy game, and it's all off of Pulse. They are the ones putting the pedal to the metal. They're trying to take Maelstrom out of this game. They're not waiting for Maelstrom to sit and make mistakes. They are creating them here. And this is the new Pulse Satyr. This is your first time laying eyes on it. And you're seeing the results of their new change.
Yeah, it is. From what I'm seeing on the eye test, they seem immediately like it just be probably one of the strongest. That is such a disgusting steal from Azog as well. There's so much that has to be said about that I'm not going to be able to say on broadcast, but that is absolutely disgusting. And
family friendly.
Yeah, exactly. But that is a game-winning moment, and it's going to stick in the minds as well for them. And plus, their confidence levels going into game 2 are going to be just as big as Will playing with Verdict right now.
Yeah, looks like they're going to be looking for this Wukong. Attempt was made, but now Prismal walking out. Still tanky on the Leona, but that's a lot of CC. The damage from Sir Zephyr. Azog is here, and everyone runs in terror of this Ezreal. The stun's going to land. Galio just can't hold up to these. Look at these Qs coming in from Azog. Just absolutely demolishing them, as well as knocking down these turrets here. Satyr, this is looking like a wrap.
Yeah, this looks like the game ender right here, and Pulse, they have been on fire the entire thing. We have to talk about this Vlad pick a little bit more as well. Like Ariandel having a great game, Azog having a great game, Prismal being in their face constantly, and Will, regardless of that bad start, has came back to play an absolute storm of a game. But that Vladimir pick completely gutted Aurora in that top side, and I've seen Aurora so much, so often, and do so well just throughout most of the series I've watched. It's surprising to see it go this far down, but it was always going to be something like a Vladimir, right?
Yeah, something like the Vlad looks like it is a very suitable counter as they pick up a dragon here. They could just reset, go for the end, I think. Should make a lot of sense. As not much left to dissect about this game. Pulse, 3 dragons, huge gold lead. They stole Baron as well to help get this lead. So just got to walk it down, sink the waves. Probably don't even have to sink the waves if they really want to. Start up a team fight like they are typically doing and get themselves a win.
Yeah, and one of the picks that I was so excited to see in this one would have been, Aurora. That is a wasted ult, but it gets you out, I suppose. But Kaisa is not getting a chance to come online at all.
Yeah, Paragon got shut down quite early, just in the 2v2, as well as the extra attention here. I think the person most shut down is Sir Zephyr. A lot of attention from Prismal, who just goes in on them again. Gallia forced the ult, and they're just going to peel out, just wasting a very key ability. Hoarder going for the straight dive on the Sappy, gets Sappy and Paragon, the 2-1, and now they're just piling in. They're trying to send this to a end screen here. Azog, they're just playing so aggressively. They're playing for the kills. They're trying to pad those stats. Azog barely survives. Ariandel going to help knock down this turret. And Seder, I mean, explosive victory for Polestar.
Explosive is one word for it, as they have completely dismantled the enemy here, and it's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying, and like it just fills me with more. I'm not sure if it's hope or doubt, but what is the plan for game 2 here? Thank God you don't have to ban a Vladimir. Like, at least that's gone now. But you've lost the Auroras, you've lost the Galio, you've lost the Kaisa. There's a lot of options that have been taken from you, and it's just going to get scarier for you as the series goes on if you don't have the answers for it. And I feel like the Champion Ocean is just being shown up here as the deepest I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I mean, it is crazy what picks they can pull out. I think they have to really look towards that bot side for Maelstrom, right? They lost it early, and then Prismal was just setting up shop in the mid lane and really made it hard for Sir Zephyr to survive in the lane with a Syndra stun from the Leona combo as well. Just too difficult, and they were able to burn the flash and then just make repeat ganks. And I mean, you were already chiming in like, is Arianel going to take over this game? And the answer I said was, well, one more, and then it probably is. And then that's exactly what happened. Meanwhile, on the bot side, Azog just getting stuff for free continually on this Ezreal. And it's just going to take a real reformat of the game plan for Maelstrom, as well as some draft differences. I'm thinking Ziggs might be making an appearance.
Ziggs could be a good shout here, but still a lot more League of Legends to watch here, Crims, and I think it's best if we take a break and readjust what we're going to do. So we'll be back in just a few moments. Please don't go anywhere.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Yeah, just want to touch your history up a little bit here because you've been playing for quite a long time, and then you transitioned to coach a few years ago.
Yep.
So when you made that transition, what was the idea behind it, or what were you feeling or thinking at the time?
Yeah, I guess started out by randomly getting into the Cloud9 training ground coaching, like high school summer camp thing, and realized it was a lot of fun. And as I was graduating, starting to work, having less time to grind solo queue all day, it was like, I think I could enjoy doing this as something on the side, and it seems people enjoyed having me around. So here we are today.
It's very true. Your players were very adamant that you get an interview this time around, and happy to oblige. Don't get too many coach interviews, so definitely want to be getting your thoughts on your team specifically, as well as the other teams. See how
Oh yeah.
you if our views line up there. Let's go ahead and jump in the history because you eventually become the coach of Team Fish Taco. So, how did that happen, and what was your experience like?
I think I landed that by being friends with and working with the manager who was at Wildcard, as well as one of the coaches they were potentially working with, but got brought in since I might have even played for TFT briefly. So knew a lot of the people around. They were looking for a coach, and it worked out.
Yeah, it says you played for 1 month. So briefly it was.
Yeah, but I think I met the TFT owners at Worlds 2022.
Mhm.
I guess that was after working with them, but we had interacted a good amount of times, so there was some mutual respect there, and seems like it worked out.
Yeah, and you did play with some players who still are playing now, and some have retired by then, but now you are still here. So you were on Team Fish Taco, and then, you know, you take on a new role in Mirage Alliance here. A lot of things happened for you during this team. So, what was your experience for that one as well? And obviously, making the qualifiers, how was that?
I enjoyed my time with Mirage a lot. I'm obviously working with Darduck again. Always a good time. A lot of respect for him as a player and someone who thinks about the game a lot. So across those two teams, I feel like I picked up a lot of additional game knowledge and draft philosophy that brings me forward to today. Was glad to actually get the promotion that time. Team Fish Taco ending was pretty tragic, so made it all the more sweet to bring it home with Mirage.
Yeah, great success. As you and Azog probably, one of the players as well as the coach that have made a qualified run in the OQ. So bringing a lot of that experience with Polestar here is exactly the kind of thing that they need to go over the line. As now we're talking
Yep.
about your current team here, Polestar. So you joined Polestar. You've had, I mean, look, of all the teams in the OQs, you're kind of picking the right teams here, always ending up in the top, having good runs. And now this is your chance again to prove that, like, you're just a top tier coach on Polestar.
That's the dream. I mean, I'm very, very busy these days, so it's kind of like if I'm gonna use all my free time coaching, then it needs to be a team that I believe in, and I think this Polestar roster fits the bill perfectly. I mean, pretty much have a lot of respect for all the players. I've known of them before this point, and so when the opportunity came up, I definitely jumped at it.
All right. Welcome back, 10 viewers, as we return from a very dominant game from Pulse, far and away the leader of that game, and they were able to cinch it pretty easily. Despite, I mean, it was a pretty scrappy game. They potentially could have lost the Baron, probably one of the biggest potential mistakes, but they end up fighting through it. They do steal the Baron, kind of not supposed to happen there. They did put Maelstrom in a pretty tough spot. So after that victory, Sater, like, where would you go for Maelstrom?
I would go as far in the opposite direction as I can from what they did previously for Maelstrom. I think they really do need to work on their kind of I think they need to work on the macro. I think they need to drag the rest of the teams around. I know the Vladimir won't be seen again, so there'll be a little bit less pressure in top, but they need to move away from them as much as possible because, to be honest, the way Pulse played, they constantly dragged them into fights. They played the macro in a way where they brought them into team fights. You need to be able to put pressure on those side lanes and keep yourselves as far away from them as possible, which is a hard thing to do, but I think it's your best foot forward.
Shout out to Anti, also a caster here, who was present during their first matchup where Maelstrom kind of did a similar thing, and they were able to come back in game number 2, just taking away a lot of picks with the fearless draft system. Kind of sandbagging game 1, you could say, but not. I mean, we're not really going to call it that. That was a real attempt from Maelstrom. So they're intentionally removing picks from play and Pulse potentially giving up picks like the Leona, the Syndra, things that they really like to play on already in game number 1 that are not going to be available to them in the next upcoming games.
Yeah, they won't be available, and there is some hot picks that have been taken away, but if you say that you're sandbagging to get rid of some of the picks, you're getting rid of some key ones off of your own side, like the Aurora disappearing, the Corki disappearing. They're all really strong picks, and I'm not too fond of that style. I do like the idea, but more in a best of 5, maybe not a best of 3.
I mean, there is a lot finer margin in a BO3 because now one more game, and that is it. So I think I agree with you. That's more a BO5 kind of thing, but maybe you're trying to like scrounge a win, maybe a close game with even as you're taking picks away. That's not a bad idea. Maybe do a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I really hope that they pick something that Paragon doesn't have to win lane on. So I said Ziggs earlier. There's other matchups and champions. Like Sivers started to just crop up recently. So in terms of like Band-Aid champions, like you're not going to be able to win the lane. I'm not going to win, but you're not going to win either. There are plenty of them in the pool, like Seraphine as well. So there's a lot of champions they could pick to basically neutralize the strength of Azog and Prismal, and then try to look topside. Hoarder can be put behind. Not invincible up in the top side, does require some attention. You know, you need to have some strategy to do it, but I think that is possible. Pulse have lost games that way before.
Yeah, maybe working through that top side. I just think I'd like to see an old classic kind of split pushy style. Just give me the Shen, you know, just go back to something crazy and see what can happen with that. But yeah, I think if you just drag them around the map, Pulse will be in less of a strong position as we saw previously. And sometimes that is just enough. Sometimes dragging them around the map will get you through. But draft wise, I'm fully expecting to see the classic Zeri and Jinx might be popping through for this one.
Yeah, Zeri, I think for sure will be popping up. Corki, Ezreal are gone. Lucian maybe might be making a return as well. So I think there's still a lot of really strong AD meta picks that haven't been picked up or banned. So they are going to be available here. I do think also the jungle pool still very large. There's a lot of champions that are strong. Bran, Lilia, Maokai was getting banned, but there's still a bunch of AP picks like Sejuani. Amumu's been coming up recently. Sader, have you seen the rise of Amumu? This champion is kind of busted right now.
Yeah, we actually got the last time we were casting together, we actually got to watch an Amumu game, and it was something I was talking about that my jungler actually plays quite a lot of Amumu right now to climb, and I think he's just about hit Grandmaster. I think he's maybe 15, 20 LP away from it. And he says that Amumu is such a game changer because in its simplicity, its skill ceiling is just a little bit higher than some, and it does so much more than Sejuani does because Sejuani ult can be dodged, it can be flashed away from. Amumu, he's on top of you and you cannot flash that distance.
Well, Amumu is the flying crystal bola. That is the one difference. Amumu is the projectile, self-propelled with the bandage toss. But something I like about the Amumu is like Amumu, once you get 1-2 items, like tanks do not exist in your face. You get the Leandries and you just cry, you just depress them away from you, and then your team just takes them out with your ultimate. And so something paired up with Misfortune, who's super meta right now, I think that's a dead ringer for a victory.
Yeah, Misfortune would be Misfortune, Amumu, and just stick a Jarvan in there and you're good to go. You're just good to go. And it's such an easy little combo to pull off, and I absolutely adore it. And we'll see if anyone really goes for it. It's one of those ones where it feels like a Hail Mary kind of idea. It feels like this is our last chance. Let's just see if we can pull off one wombo combo and get it to game 3. And a lot of teams don't like to go into that kind of style. It shows maybe a weakness in the depths of your drafts. But Maybe we'll get it. I'd like it.
I think that would be interesting. Kind of analyzing Pulse here. Remember, so they're playing very scrappy right now. At least in this last game they did. And so that can be exploited. You can pick champions that can scrap back, or you know that they could give you a potential game-winning fight. And so, staying even with a scaling comp front to back, don't opt into them scrapping you all the time. Prismal's playing really aggressive on the Leona pick. Take Prismal off the super aggressive engage picks.
Crazy. It's not aggressive. It is crazy. The dive onto that mid tower, the second time around to get the Corki, absolutely mental. But it worked. And that's a sign of a really good support.
Can you be crazy and calculate at the same time? Because that's what it seemed like to me.
I'm a Fnatic fan. I watched Hylissang for years. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how calculated Hylissang was, but...
he's the professor. Okay.
Prismal might be following in the footsteps of Hylissang. The pressure style, just never know where Hylissang is going to be. Never know where Prismal is going to be. A lot of roams from that bot side there. So, I also think Azog could also be doing something with the Ziggs as well. Something that they've shown that they can play. Or they could go to that Callista. Similar bans coming out here. That's a lot of beefy jungler bans on the side of Pulse. They're really trying to make sure Verdict cannot do anything in these team fights.
Yeah, trying to step away and make sure that jungler cannot move. Trying to get rid of that Poppy as well. Always such a great counter pick. But Lucian, as you said, yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Lucian apart from in that mid lane right now. So a decent flex pick as well if they do want to go down that AD mid route. But I do get worried for some of the damage later on. But Senna going to make an appearance. This will be the last time I get to see a Senna until she becomes a full enchanter.
No, wait, isn't this the patch? Is this the correct patch or is this 15? Because we'll wait for an update on production if this is the correct patch. But yeah, the Senna coming out here with Jace blind pick on the top side. Pretty bold. Now I like Lucian paired up with an AP jungler, but they are not going to be doing that. They're picking up the Jarvan. They see the Senna Satyr and they say Jarvan can exploit that weakness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Senna is very weak to being locked down or trapped in areas.
Hoarder gets J4 plus the Rumble. This is a very deadly combo.
They are on 14-16. So yeah, the big change is coming through there. But Shyvana on the other side, this is a pick I absolutely adore.
Yeah, super farm heavy. Going for the more poke style typically is what we see. You get your dragon form and you just shoot fireballs at range. Does a lot of damage, and a lot of Shyvanas have found success with it. Not the easiest strategy to play, but it does look like a poke comp. They have Senna, they have Jace, they have Shyvana. They're going to need to pick some peel somewhere, and Pulse already identifying that, if they have taken out Tom Kench. Meanwhile, on the other side, Maelstrom said, no more engage for you, but this might be a little bit too late already, because there's a J4 and a Rumble.
G4 and a Rumble. What do you do in response to this? This is a really tough position to be in, because Jace might be heading towards that top side. What do you take as a mid laner to try protect your team? Never mind, it's going to be Jace mid and Cassante top. Okay, Cassante can, I guess, drag Jarvan over his own walls, stay in the fight a little bit longer, maybe? I don't know.
The W is pretty good for peeling. Varus coming up here. This is a nice long-range engage tool. Ashes down, Varus the next best. So with that ultimate, if you're just a centimeter off, you are going to be snared up. And then, well, if you can't peel as a poke comp, then you are dead here. And Cassante does lose into the Rumble, so it's not the best matchup that they're securing, but they're getting something here with the Jhin being picked up last in the mid lane. As the AD for the Senna here. So this is the new Enchanter Senna. Going to see a lot of healing, more healing focus come out on this champion. I don't expect to see the Black Cleaver build on Gabex here. I don't want to see it. I want to see just full Moonstone and then Echoes of Helia.
Yeah, Echoes of Helia. Just Senna, a champion that I love playing support when I can't play ADC, when I get autofilled and I get to still be an ADC and ruin my ADC's life, because I hate when I have a Senna. But regardless, the changes that they're making to her, making her more support oriented, I think it should have been that way from the start for this champion. I don't like I'm one of those champions that, like, if you're playing top, you're playing a tank. If you're playing mid, you're playing a mage. I'm not a big fan of change when I'm so used to it for so long. And the likes of Pyke and Senna have, to be honest, I think ruined some of the bot lane for myself. Well, it is nice sometimes to see a big change come true like that, where they're trying to focus where I think the correct areas should be focused.
I think Pike does provide a niche, which is interesting. Senna now doing so. An AD Enchanter. This is unheard of. This is new. So
You
we'll
haven't
see
seen
if
my
the
Tarek.
balance. That is not a AD pick, but I guess you are a different
Tarek's
breed
age.
of Tarek.
Gotta go for it.
So something that I want to point out from the side of Maelstrom Esports is I don't think they have enough peel. Satyr, I think this is going to be very tough to poke out Pulse without getting engaged on. I mean, if they're just anywhere too close to Azog, Will, they're going to get engaged on, and then Prismal's going to come over with the Recon ultimate. And when Hoarder lets that ultimate go, their health bars are going to start getting chunked.
Yeah, we will definitely see that poke come to fruition very, very soon, as we are going to go back to our split so we can see multiple lanes at the very same time here, as we are going to look at Lucian into the Jace. Lucian should get some advantages early before the level 3, but once again, it's going to be an engage on the bot side level 1.
Wow, they're just going all in level 1 there. I'm not even sure if they win that, but they did pull that off. They were able to find an angle for a victory here. They're taking trade off the back end. They are not going to hit level 2 first, so they're not going to get prio. But a trade like that might open up a gank later in this game. So we'll see if that gets utilized. But again, aggressive play coming out of Prismal.
Yeah, very aggressive from Prismal. Absolutely crazy plays coming out constantly. And I absolutely love to see a Rakan. I'm just hoping he goes for my kind of style where I take a Dark Seal on Rakan.
Ooh, I see Will heading towards the bot side. Ward looks like it was called. And now they're finding the angle on the bot side. They're going for this gank. They're trying to burn some flashes or something. And the Ward's going to save their life. So they are preventing Will from finding an early start. But their wave gets stalled, Satyr.
Wave gets stalled and the movement immediately comes over. So great movement there. Will not going to get the better of those early engages that we saw last time, both junglers. But he's actually going to stick around for this one here. Is this the smart play right now? Is this really what we want to see from
I see
the
Prismal coming
Jarvan?
up. Verdict is giving this. So, and also Ariandel has mid lane pressure. I think this is actually a give. I think they have to give this over to Will here. Verdict's going to get tempo to go over to the crab and potentially just might be able to steal a blue buff before even getting the crab. We'll see what Verdict goes for, but that is not a full clear.
No, just the cancelled back there.
Yeah,
As
I saw
Zephyr
that.
tried to leave, and it was just a very, very quick cue from the Rakan to say, nope, you are staying here, my good sir.
Oh, Hoarder has been left alone on this top side. No jungler trying to get the burn down on the Sappy. The auto to flash needed one more. And that's first blood going over to the top laner of Maelstrom Esports. Azog super low. Prismal trying to find the grand entrance. Does get a flash. And now Paragon is flashless into a very strong duo here. Should be very scared. Oh, that trade is going to keep continuing. And we'll see if Gabex can continue to sustain with the Qs here. But I'm thinking Will might be making a trip towards this bot lane in, somewhere around 5 minutes.
5 minutes. You're also predicting the gank timings here. As we all... Oh, never mind. As we still go into the mid lane, the flash, it doesn't get the auto. It's perfectly timed, and it will set up a very tough time for his Lucian now. Now Flashless didn't get the kill. We'll be able to get this wave in, but sitting so low, I'll be very careful of where the jungler is. But Shyvana, notorious for that farming style, will stay back for the moment, get a couple more waves. But that's disastrous for Lucian not to get that one.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. On the flip side, did burn the flash of the Jace. So now Will has a lot of options. Who do we feed here? Who do we get a lead? Ariandel or Azog? And can go either. Wait a minute. Prismal will force the flash away. The flash auto. Look at the HP bars on this bot side. Maelstrom are going to be picking up a double Paragon as well. I mean, they were able to sustain up from what was like almost certainly a kill. Oh, Sir Zephyr just walks up into a bush. Will is here to pick up the kill. And now Verdict has to run away from these 2v2 in the mid lane. Can they get this kill, Satyr?
It's going to be tough because they have the bot lane slowly walking up. Can Senna get into that range as well? Is actually going to stand there. The Drake doesn't start either. That could have been a dangerous one. But for now, no, everything's looking just fine. Pulse. Yeah, that's a big take for them. That's something they could definitely work with now. It's such a tough game to call now.
Yeah, I think the bot side Maelstrom, they've actually done a great job coming back in that one, because without a flash on Paragon, that just so susceptible to a gank from Will, because they have double knockups and you can't cleanse the knockup, so it's gonna be completely useless. So I think Paragon's still in a tough spot, but that did save the bot lane quite a bit.
Did save the bot lane for now at least, but we still have a little bit more to go through here. We're still in that very early stages. Prismal already walking up towards that mid lane. There's no flash on that Jace. There's no flash on that Jace, and knockup comes through. Ariandel playing very safe on this one, and it will be passed over to that Lucian as the Vars also came up here. We'll take a minion for his troubles, and I'm sure the mid laner will be very angry about that one. But yeah, plus their movements in game 1 and so far in game 2 have been amazing. But Verdict beginning that break stack on the Shyvana. And just to make sure everyone realizes, that's a direct scaling effect for that Shyvana.
Yeah, the increased armor as well is going to be nice. And Shyvana does want to stack those dragons, so we'll see. I think Maelstrom is very attuned to the dragon stacking style. So if they start getting more of those, that's going to be a good look for them.
Shyvana is the only one that scales directly off of neutral objectives.
I mean, if you want to talk about Cho, Prismal gets the knockup. Grand entrance. However, Paragon's level 6. Do they have enough damage? Azog already used the ultimate. Gabex is in front. Super squishy. Just getting arrowed down. And with the execute from Azog, that is going to pick up a kill. And level 6 is a very scary time to be playing against Avaris. Jin going to try to find the execute. Prismal, I believe, has a battle dance. Grand entrance. Something. Doesn't use either. Gets sniped by Paragon.
Yeah, that's Prismal now 0-2, and less calculations this time around as they are going down a lot more than we saw previously. But we got to take stock here. Gold is pretty much even. Drake versus Grubs. It's a much different game than we saw before. It was a lot scrappier in game 1. I think that came down to how comfortable some of them were on their picks. But I have to be honest, Crims, the longer this game goes, I put a lot more faith in a Rumble Jarvan Varus than I put into Jin Shyvana.
Oh, that's a nice trade for Sir Zephyr. Verdict trying to make an entrance here. Is level 6, so actually has some form of CC plus the E damage. But I mean, pulses. I mean, as you're saying, outside of like, I mean, like you could Jarvan not really consider it scaling, but I mean, if you just look at the comps,
Walls
it's so much easier to win.
Anything else, you can put a wall in front of people; they can't break through it.
Yeah, and there it is, Prismal again. I mean, Prismal roaming up the mid lane time and time again for these kills, just making it an absolute nightmare to be playing mid lane in this game versus Ariandel. I mean, this is something that would drive people mad.
Yeah, you don't get to play the 1v1. You don't get to play the
It's
lane
not
out.
a 1v1. It's a lie. The 1v1 was a lie.
Yeah, completely and utterly, and it's you have to feel for the mid laner that's on the receiving end of it. Is there? It's like, I just want to play my lane. There's always something. But Verdict making a very quick escape with Azog could be getting chased down here. There could be something to build from this, but both teams deciding not to over aggress in this situation because they don't want to be the lane that they have to get dug out by the junglers. But a lot of that came down to Verdict, and that escape was good, but Shyvana's falling behind.
Azog did burn flash, so there was something there.
Something.
But Verdict should be up in tempo versus Will. That is for certain. Need to be able to use your faster clear to your advantage. And yeah, I mean, that wasn't really, I mean, you don't really get much off that steal away. So I guess Verdict didn't really have much else to do. And you can see Will with the Eclipse already.
Yeah, with the Eclipse already, as we do see the Unstoppable come out from Xante. Does not manage to land that third Q and will continue to fight this onto Hoarder. Here comes the ult, here comes the drop, here comes the Lucian, and that will change this fight almost immediately and dramatically. Easy pick up there for Pulse once again. And the way they move, Crims, it is magic.
Yeah, Hoarder knew that Will was coming up there. Wasn't a flying Lucian, but we'll take it as they're going to get the kill on the top side as they will be picking up plates onto Hoarder. And remember, gold on this Rumble is going to directly correlate into lots of damage onto the enemy. They do not have great ways to get out of a J4 ultimate. The only tool they have at hand is the flash, as we see Will going for a huge trade on Verdict. Half HP with one trade. If Verdict sticks around, Will could use the ultimate, the Cataclysm. Ariandel popping the ultimate for zones. Senna not going to be able to pick up the kill. Battle Dance here to save the day. Kanjin Paragon doesn't get the kill. Does hit Prismal with the last shot again, but nowhere near low enough for that execute. Meanwhile, I've seen this story before. Azog just working on the bot lane turret.
Yeah, they're sending everything up to try to catch on the Hoarder here, but Hoarder just walking away, using the flash, staying safe. And we'll also land a couple more slows on the Sappy to try and get Will out of there. Flag and drag. Will escape. Will step off. And it's just looking so much worse every time we glance around the map. It just seems like Pulse are getting more and more in control. Now onto those rubs. We will see that there will be a trade-off at least for those, but that Drake ticking away. Are they going to try and get one from this one as well? There's a TP coming in. They're going to go for this.
Oh, they're going to go for the last grubs. Verdict is stuck. Has to flash out. Grand Entrance going to force that. And they're going to be picking up the rest of the grubs here. That's 5. So that is going to be pretty worthwhile. Once you start autoing the turret, they will spawn. Plus all that extra turret damage. I'm sure Azog is loving it down on that bot side here. Dragon is up. So they won't have Hoarder at the fight. But neither will Maelstrom have Sappy. And with just the current setup I'm looking, not having Recon ult is a bit bad for Pulse. However, they just up in ultimates all around.
Yeah, they do have slightly better numbers here, and Paragon not having that ult as well, which means we will not see that firing line. We will not see those sniper shots come over the top. And I think a lot of that will be very important here. Oh no. Oh no, I've seen this happen.
Verdict's going to pop the ultimate. And that's an ultimate being burned in defense. Prismal might have been left out, but Battle Dance over the wall. And they just need to wait out this ultimate. Oh, they're going to go in instead. They're going to get the execute, Azog. There is the Cataclysm. Gabex now using the ultimate in defense. Again, the defensive ultimates, they're not gaining an advantage. They're just preventing the loss of their own. And Pulse completely went out on the scenario before Maelstrom even had an attempt in to get the dragon.
Yeah, and then the Drake will be picked up. That will be less Shyvana scaling. Drakes will always spawn, but those stats are forever. As they do get 5 ability haste and 5 attack speed. As you can see down your bottom left-hand corner, absolutely brilliant. Because I often forget what Drakes actually do because I'm just so used to just getting them, you know? I'm just like, oh, I'll just take soul, don't worry about it.
Doesn't really matter what the Drakes do. It's what it makes your opponents do. And usually, if you get enough dragons, they throw the game. As that's the way to break it down as a player here. Pulse, though, I mean, so far in this mid game, dominating the map, winning on every side. Ariandel, again, having an immaculate game. Will providing a lot of pressure on the map. Azog picking up things on the other side. Hoarder getting ganked. Everything is the same.
Nothing ever changes. War never changes. But this game,
as Pulse Star Maelstrom is war.
Yeah, 100%. This is war. Maelstrom putting up a great fight so far and actually staying in this, and it's been a lot closer, but there will be a catch. The Jace will fall, and Will says, you know what, I'll take that one. I deserve it.
Yeah. I think Ariandel just built Blue the Rune King, so this is an interesting build. As
no, that's standard on Lucian for mid lane.
Oh, is it? Yes. Mid lane not cracking? Okay.
Yeah, you
I mean, there was the static shift build.
Try into Bork. Or into
it was the static
shift
build, but it keeps changing. The builds keep evolving on these mid lane 80 carries here. Will getting stuck. We're pinning them against the wall, but that's 2 turrets picked up, and this is where we start to see the gold lead balloon. Azog?
Nothing to be said. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's just a blip on the radar. Don't worry about it.
I mean, it is a blip.
It is a blip, but it's a good blip. Don't worry about it. It's just an error in the system. It didn't actually happen. That 2 was actually a 1. We apologize for all of the... How does that even... What?
Oh boy. Man, they are just honing in.
They
Seriously.
are locked in.
I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to make this player feel bad, but, like, how many deaths do they have total so far?
I don't want to talk about it.
Alright, Hoarder getting ganked here in the mid lane. Verdict, as well as GabeX, are going to pick up the kill. Hoarder, I mean, reverse getting targeted on the side for Maelstrom here. But, I mean, overall, this Rumble is still in a pretty good spot. Still does a lot of damage. And most importantly, they don't lose anything on the map, giving over Hoarder there. So, Polestar, while the gold lead has diminished a little bit, the map state for them is absolutely perfect. And remember, this is the glitch. This is the era that didn't happen.
Yeah, TP
Ah,
straight in
there it is, a
behind.
TP.
Sappy, yeah, Sappy gets it nice and easy. We'll set it up perfectly for the Jin to be able to take this one. Varus trying their best, but once the first one hits, that slow is debilitating enough to just take you out of the fight. And you know, yeah, I'll just keep stepping side to side. I'll try to get a couple of autos, but let's see Ariandel up onto their Zebra.
Oh, that was
and
nice.
It is, yeah, very, very nicely done by the mid and support duo right there.
It was a good attempt. It was a good attempt. The Jace knockback almost saved him, but it wasn't enough to get away from the quickness here. Rift can be dropped onto mid turret, and this is a very important turret for Pulse to knock down here if they get this one. I mean, they should be able to get complete jungle control, and there it is. And that's what I hope to see from Pulse here as they're going for a bit of an engage.
A little bit of
Oh,
engagement. Both Sappy.
Frizzle?
Yeah,
Frizzle
don't worry about
is
Frizzle.
wild.
Frizzle is fine. Frizzle knows exactly what they're doing at all points in this game, but yeah, that was a bit of a messy one as well. Now going to step in. Shyvana will find them. Will they use the Dragon Form? And no, it's actually been hesitated on, but here comes a double. Jeremy's going straight into the back. They will take out Paragon before they even have a chance to do anything. The rest of the team now stepping in. Ariandel doing decent damage, and there we see the cage come down from the Jarvan onto Verdict, while Azog has taken out Zappy. The rest of the team slowly making their way down. Multiple flashes used. Knockups now as well. Ariandel dash forward. More shots. Stunned up. Step back. GabeX in a little bit of trouble. As we go back to the other side of the fight, we see the Rumble being taken down by the Shyvana, but trading it off in the end for a 1 versus 1. It is a slow, scrappy, methodical fight, but Ariandel also out of mana. Will have a dash available to
Here's
them,
Will.
but do they have enough? Here's Will. Will they get it? Jace doing a lot of damage with that lethality, and the shot will miss. The poke is gone, and they're still chasing the Senna.
Well, they successfully split them up. They can't play together here. Wait, Frizzle is locked in on this AD carry here. As there, they finally get it. The chase down is going to conclude. And so again, Pulse making aggressive play, making moves on Maelstrom. And again, they win out. I mean, it's looking like it is pretty impossible for Maelstrom to peel away from Pulse. I mean, they pretty much gotten the engage every single time.
Yeah, they always find the angle here, Crims. Let's be honest, they always find it. And Pulse, I think that is probably one of the greatest strengths that they have, is they always find a kick before they need to get something.
That is rough. Another one, another drop in the bucket.
Another drop in the bucket, but they're setting up nicely for this one as a Zog.
Ooh, they're just bleeding.
GabeX.
Yeah, they're just consistently losing. They're getting picked. The map, I mean, this is so hard to survive here because they have no control over this map, and this game is out of their hands right now. Seder, this is all Polestar, and I don't know if there's anything Maelstrom can do.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's definitely a tough situation for them to be in. Let's see what they're looking for here. Here comes the engaged. Rakan is in there, but they've all had to step back. Here comes the Senna. Oh, big shields coming through. Not enough damage coming from it. Here comes the Jin, trying to set themselves up. Prismal now in a lot of trouble. Prismal will go down to the breath of fire as well. Stepping back, here comes the equalizer. It's set up perfectly to stop them cutting through. It gives them space, it gives them time, but doesn't give them enough as well. Will lock up the Shyvana now out of Dragon Form. Has lost a lot of damage.
Verdict.
Steps up, arrow to the face. That dragon is gone. GabeX is gone. Double kill now for Barca. Stepping up. Here comes a slow flash forward from Hoarder, and it just looks too easy for them.
Yeah, Azog just getting the triple right there. has more in the kit. Doesn't get the last kill there, but just kind of casually walking them down, getting those kills. Yeah, this is a very strong Varus as well. I mean, everyone on Pulse is extremely powerful in this game. And now they're going to be able to get this next dragon as we get a nice rewind of this fight.
Yeah, let's have a look at this one once again, because Rakan just goes
I like the
straight in,
TP play.
too easy for Zephyr on the other side. Prismal now too low, has to step back, doesn't have anywhere to go, will try to dash away, but the Fire Breath will take them. Now this is the important part, that equalizer there forces Paragon and Gabex to step out on the other side. Will, stepping in a weird position here, gets the lock up, but Shyvana comes out of Dragon form. Azog doesn't have to fully charge this arrow, half charges it, eliminates them with all of those blight stacks, and then it's an easy walk down. One flash, and another chase flash. Porter takes that one. Ariandel doesn't even have to join the fight, starts taking the wolves instead. But on the other side, Prismal, will they be able to escape from this one? There's no one for them to dash to. Will they be able to get it?
Oh, Battle Dance!
Oh my. He actually escaped from that one as we go back to the fight on the other side. Verdict now in a lot of trouble. They will go down. Equalizer will split that bot lane once again, and the front line melts in the face of that rumble.
Okay. I think the Hillsong comparison looking really accurate there. Prismal, I don't know how Prismal survived that.
In crazy survivability.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This is very logical and sane. As they were able to dodge the EQ from Sir Zephyr, as well as Battle Dance to safety. Crazy, crazy play. I mean, Pulse, they're putting on a show.
They are putting on a show, and it is a show I want to continue to watch here as well. But not over yet.
Oh, they're not going. They decide that Prismal's not worth the time anymore.
They know they can't kill him. Just the invincible man. Crazy, crazy work. Let's see what else they can do, I guess, in this situation. As up on the top side, Ariandel now in a world of hurt, but will take out Sappy before he goes. And he doesn't even go. The GSL doesn't even finish him.
Yeah, just riddling Sappy there. It seemed like there was no armor TP after backing. And now they're going to start knocking down these turrets here. They're a man down, and they can't win in a fight. Maelstrom, this might be the end.
Might be the end right here, right now, as they do step back towards that top side. Going to get that second inhib unlocked. Going to make sure they can get everything from this one, but Will decides to go in on this one. Here goes the Illusional, slowly picking away. Paragon is eliminated, taken out by Azog, as we do see them chasing down, trying to get the Shyvana, as the Shyvana is pulling the wave, but can they get the rest of it? Prismal now recalling in the base. Will get sent back to the fountain for now. As they have to slow down. Great play by Verdict, but Verdict, can you escape from this one? There goes the flash, there goes the shield, but here comes the equalizer to try to slow them down. It doesn't quite work, but they do have Will caught out in a weird position here, as they will take out the Shyvana. They'll trade it off jungler for jungler, and they've bought themselves time.
But, I mean, it's only just a couple of seconds here. Will respawn. They got 2 inhibs. That's all they really needed on the side of Pulse. 2 inhibs. They still have Baron for quite a long time. So they should be able to sync the waves, walk in the last wave as well. I mean, they could also just skip it. That's just how strong they are right now. And they just don't have a lot of tools to answer what Pulse can do in this game. Right now, I mean, the Rumble, the equalizers that you're talking about, splitting the fight, dealing damage, making it tough for them. The Cataclysm, they just don't have enough mobility to get out of it. Ariandel just giving them pain from such a long distance with the culling and even getting these kills 100-0. There's just not a lot of answers. Freeze frame.
Not a lot of answers. We do get a nice freeze frame before we see this next fight start up. Ariandel going to get a little bit of damage down there nice and early, but here comes the Zog, here comes Prismal, here comes the crazies. 40 days and 40 nights of assault are going to be coming from this Rakan, and this is a pick they might have to look at banning in the future, because Prismal on those engaged champions is looking immaculate.
Yeah, had one bit of a misstep as I was going to be landing the chains of corruption, and they tried to get the kill, but the flash going to save them. Cataclysm coming in, Prismal's there, the charm. Porter doesn't have ultimate, but they don't even need it to win this fight right now, and that is just how strong they are. This is going to be the 2-0. It looked clean, not even close. There's the equalizer on top. And this I mean, this is just immaculate play. I'm dare say it. I think this is exactly how you should play the meta right now. I love what Pulse are doing. I think this is the perfect read.
Yeah, they have a perfect read on this one, and I'm so happy to be seeing Jarvan picked up. I absolutely love that pick, and I think it should be one of the forefront junglers right now when AP is not required, as you have a Rumble. It is just too easy to play, and I want to see more people play it, but they're not. They're not doing it. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, with a lot of high mobility champions, you can't always pick it. But when the opportunity presents itself, then I say go for it. The Senna revealed early, and Will says, give me the J4, and played it extremely well. Was super slippery, couldn't catch him, as well as engaging many times. And I mean, if anything, this is a nice glow up series for Ariendo. Everyone in the team just made Ariendo look untouchable in both these games. Prismal coming mid multiple times. Azog able to pressure solo on the bot side as well. Hoarder, they put a lot of attention into getting Hoarder behind, but it wasn't enough for a victory here. And so for Pulse, I mean, this is exactly what you want to see coming out of them from this game if you have high hopes for them to go deep in this tournament.
Yeah, we do have high hopes for Pulse to be going very, very deep in this tournament, and they've shown us a lot here and a lot more for us to think about as well in the future, Crims. I think this is one of the teams that will be going. We can kind of guess where they're going to go in their terms of engage down in the bot side, lockdown in the jungle, things like that, but their carry potential, it changes every time with the Hoarder going from Vlad to Rumble, and then Lucian's in the mid lane, Syndra's in the mid lane. They have so many other options they can constantly work with, and that is a terrifying thing to see.
Yeah, I think that for this game, they really showed their best look, and I'm excited to see how they're going to do in the playoffs because they qualified over, and I believe that they're going to be playing up against Komodo. And I don't know how the other brackets have weighed out here, but there it is. Komodo versus Pulse. That should be a really good matchup. Honestly, every team that's qualified here so far have a right to the claim for the throne that is the finals and the second qualifiers here. And so Pulse, they're not going to be directly matched up against Dragoons or Lotus like we expected. But after winning, they have that opportunity to get that rematch versus Lotus on the bottom side, which I think this makes for more interesting of a storyline.
Maybe so. Maybe so, as we do wait for the rest of the results to come through. I'm not sure if we actually have got any of them just yet. I am going to go and have a quick look at the NACL 2 and see how my Duckies and my GHGs are doing. I'm not going to be happy either way, but it is Duckies 1-0 so far.
Okay, Ducky's looking good. So I think, Ducky's another top team. So, I mean, this OQ around, there's a lot higher quality of teams here. And so I think that makes it extremely exciting. Obviously, for the top four from last time, they're still expected to be, favorites for getting that finals matchup. So I'm excited to see if the new teams that have been formed can match up, make them, make these games look tough, make them look close. And then we can see who is deserving of winning this second OQ here, Satyr, as Pulse pulling out a very immaculate victory.
Yeah, and congratulations to them and commiserations to Emmy or me. But yeah, we will be back very, very soon with more games. Please, we will be back tomorrow, I believe, with more games. Are we doing some Sunday games? We are indeed. So we will see you all then, and we will be back with more League of Legends, as we always do. See you then.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say